This is Rick, and I've sent him to chase a tornado. He's holding a crumpled sheet of paper with a map of the United States and a cheap radar set he doesn't really know how to use. Rick is driving to the American prairie, where the most powerful tornadoes are often born from the collision of warm, moist air and cold air currents from above. Sirens start wailing, the sky darkens, and the wind bends bushes to the ground. For locals, this is a sign to immediately seek shelter, but Rick, on the contrary, hits the gas, because his goal is to get to the very center of the storm. Before his eyes, a dark cloud descends toward the ground. This is how a tornado is born. Warm and cold air collide, and the flow swirls into a spiral. From a distance, it looks beautiful, but deadly. The car bounces over the bumps, and Rick approaches a giant funnel. Usually, the advice is to stay away, because a tornado can change direction at any second. But he does exactly the opposite. Rick is getting closer to the tornado, and the wind is picking up speed. Such tornadoes are capable of lifting a car weighing a ton, or even an entire school bus weighing several tons. The wind speed is comparable to that of an airplane, and Rick realizes that his iron car could crunch like a paper cup. The wind intensifies, and the car begins to be thrown sideways. In just a moment, Rick's wheels lift off the ground, and the car finds itself inside the tornado. The windows crack and burst from the pressure changes, the body twisting like a tin can. Inside the tornado, the pressure is lower than outside, and this difference tears entire houses apart. Rick is thrown out of the car through the windshield. Now he himself is part of the tornado, spinning along with debris and rubble. He sees boards, pieces of fence, metal sheets, and even road signs flying past. All of this is hurtling at over 300 kilometers per hour, turning into deadly projectiles. The force of a tornado is such that even a feather in its vortex can pierce a tree, so high is its speed. So Rick's body is in great danger, and his chances of survival are almost zero. But so far, he's lucky. The air current is pulling Rick upward. Sometimes a tornado lifts debris hundreds of meters, and it's found far from the crash site. Rick understands that a fall from such a height could be his last. A cow appears in midair next to Rick. Animals have been known to be lifted by tornadoes, and most die upon impact. Their chances of survival are slim, but in our video, everyone is still alive. Suddenly, lightning flashes across the darkness. Rick's hair stands on end with static electricity, and thunder rumbles around him. Many tornadoes are accompanied by such electrical storms, as the friction of debris creates a gigantic charge. For a moment, Rick finds himself closer to the center of the funnel. It's relatively quiet there, but the calm is deceptive. The rotation continues, and at any moment he could be thrown back. The pressure difference within the vortex can even affect breathing. In people, such conditions can cause ruptured eardrums and limited lung function. Barotrauma often occurs. Internal organs are damaged, and a person can die without even having time to hit anything. And the impact is getting easier, the tornado is getting stronger, and picking up more debris. Bicycles, beams, and trash cans are flying around. Rick barely avoids the impact, though no one can escape the blows in such a mess. The deadliest tornado in history was the tri-state tornado in the United States in 1925. Its path lasted nearly 4 hours and covered over 200 miles, with winds exceeding 200 miles per hour, and it claimed the lives of more than 600 people. Today's tornado replicates that power. Suddenly, the twister begins to lose strength. The air currents are no longer as violent, and objects begin to fall. For Rick, this is an opportunity, but also a new risk. An old sofa falls with him. Rick collides with it, clings to it with his hands, and Rick falls comfortably. The rotation of the twister partially dampens the speed, making the fall less deadly than it could have been. Rick falls not in a straight line, but in a spiral, which distributes the force on his body and slows him down. This is what sometimes explains rare miracles of survival. Rick, sitting on the sofa, crashes into a haystack. The impact has been softened, and although he's covered in bruises and dust, he's miraculously still alive. The tornado is already disappearing on the horizon, leaving behind devastation. Overturned cars, uprooted trees, and wrecked houses are all around. The chances of surviving a tornado are slim to none, and Rick was incredibly lucky. He survived today, so support him with a subscription.